You.
Maybe it's me. Can you hear me now, Keno?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes, sir.
So you couldn't hear me before this?
No.
Oh, excellent. So I've been running my mouth. Welcome, brother.
I'm sorry, I'm late. I'm in the house, man. Had to take a little nap. You know how that go. Nap get good. Brother sleep too long. It's all good. But I'm here.
You are here. All right, we're going to have to edit the replay because apparently I have been speaking to myself for the last 6 minutes.
oh,
At any rate,
you sound
yes,
boxy. You sound boxy. Your
I
volume
sound
down.
boxy.
Yeah, it sound a little boxy. What's going
Hmm.
on? Sounds boxy, but
Oh, it's probably me. I have no doubt. I have been playing around with my audio. Still boxy?
yeah, it's loud and boxy. But we'll
Okay.
we'll
Well,
make it work.
it's
Make it work.
unfortunate. Yes, tweaks along the way.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you turn your volume down a little bit? Maybe that's it. Turn it down just a little.
Absolutely. Got me any better there? What about right there?
That's good. That's a good level right there. I
That's
like
a
that.
good level. All
Just up
right,
a little bit. Just up a little bit. Still
up a
sound a
little.
little boxy. Yeah.
All right. I feel like I'm moving a picture with it. How's that? We better now?
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. I can deal with that.
All right. This
Yeah.
is cool.
It's better. Yeah.
All right. Awesome. So here we are. Uh now, Women's Month. This
Women's.
end of Women's Month.
Yes.
And I wanted to just show a little love to the women. It's the end of Her Story Month, if you will. I wanted to show a little love by calling out a group of women that impressed me. I came across this story of these women, the Umoja, the tribe women. And this is an all female tribe. You with me so far?
Yeah. Yeah. All female. Yep.
All female. No men allowed. No men allowed. As a matter of fact, I watched the video. The video that is tagged in the Advocators. If you watch it, at some point they say if a man comes around here, we'll kick his butt.
Uh.
That's how anti men in our establishment these ladies are. And the reason that this tribe was formed, this woman
Okay.
Alexa has to get her 2 cents in. The reason this tribe was formed is because there was a woman who she was married in her Samburu tribe, and now this is in Kenya. She was married and she was attacked by European soldiers. And when she was attacked, after she was attacked, she she voiced the problems that were going on within her community. One of them being that women in their tribe could get attacked by these European soldiers, and the men within their tribe wouldn't do anything. Well, then the men got upset. The men in the tribe got upset, and they beat her.
Oh
After
shoot.
they beat her, she went to her husband. She's like, "Hey, you're my husband. You're supposed to protect me. You're not going to do anything about this." And he wouldn't. So she divorced him. She created this tribe, the Umoja tribe. And if you remember your lessons from early childhood, Kwanzaa, Umoja is Swahili for unity.
Okay.
So she created this all woman tribe. Now, in the video, they discuss the dynamics of these ladies, their trials and their tribulations. Now, the way that they support themselves is by creating the jewelry, some of which you see around their necks, some of what you see in their ears, some of what you see around their wrists and their arms. So that's how they support themselves. But they don't allow any men in the community. And one of the local men were saying that it's a bad idea. They could never survive because they don't have anybody to protect them. So my question is, Why would these women need men to protect them?
Why would they need men to protect them? um, just naturally, naturally, men are warriors, man, and women are nurturers. Not saying that it can't work, but show me a society that's successful and don't get messed with, that's ran by women. It just doesn't happen. Like I said, not any knock against women. Not saying women can't do it, but it's going to be very difficult to remain an all female tribe with no men. And a few of these women sneaking off and going to get they getting their rocks off and stuff. I don't see how it can happen. Um, one bitter chick is leading a whole group of other bitter chicks. I don't know. What's the dynamic of the other women? Did the article really say?
It did actually. So some of the women. So another problem in Africa is uh, female genital mutilation
Okay.
or female circumcision, which is a part of the Samburu tribes' traditions,
Okay.
and it's a rite of passage for women. If you don't go through this rite of passage as a woman, you are seen as less than worthy of a husband.
Hmm.
And a lot of the women like we shouldn't have to go through this to become a wife. In
Right.
fact, a woman could go to school, she could get educated, get a degree, get a job where she's doing more than any of these men in these tribes, and she would still be looked upon as less of a woman and not worthy of marriage.
Oh, if she rem- if her clitoris remains intact, she's less than a woman. So that's the reason they self pleasure from it. Correct.
Say that again.
So they self mutilate. So women get pleasure. That's what I read.
Hold on just a moment because you're breaking up, and I don't know if it's me or if it's you.
Hello, testing.
All right, that's much better.
Yeah.
It was you.
So the self mutilation, for what I understand, is so women can't get pleasure from sex, which I think in their mind thinks that um, it's not gonna it's not gonna allow women to want to step out and cheat on their husbands and whatever this come from. So you got a whole tribe of bitter women. Is basically what we're saying.
Now, are they bitter women, or do they just not want this tradition to go on because it is known around the world? It's female genital
Right,
mutilation.
right.
It's,
I I advocate for this. I think if they're being sexually destroyed, I think they should go off and do what it is they do. But can they survive like this? I don't know. I don't know what the climate, what the country's like. Is it harsh conditions? Do the men got to go out and hunt and all that stuff? Is this something that is difficult for women to do? It seems like they're surviving on their own now. um there's a debate whether these women could survive for decades going forward, or you know I don't know. I don't know much about the region, but I would say that, like they said, European settlers would attack them. Are they vulnerable for attack? I really don't know what's going on.
all right. So one thing, these women they sell their jewelry. That's how they make money. Then they turn around, they take that money, and they've built schools for
Okay.
their tribe. So all the girls go to school, and then they do take boys from from tribes around the area, around the region,
Hmm.
and they will educate the boys as well. But the men, you can't come up in here now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So there's that. Now, my thing is, if they need protection, from whom do they need protection? Because yeah, between lions and tigers and bears, I think their biggest threat is men.
Yeah, yeah. So what happens when other men was like, "Oh shoot, a village full of women? Oh man, we done came up. We about to come in here and take everything." I mean,
So,
how they gonna stop it?
all right. So my thought is, if these women are selling jewelry and they're making money, at some point they might be able to afford to hire men to protect them if necessary. That's one option. But I want to put you on to this tribe, which known as now it's the I call it Dahomey tribe. Now it's Dahomey.
Okay.
And these women are truly Dahomies. These warriors, these female warriors are real life Themyscira. So, you know, Wonder Woman grew up on an island of Amazon women.
Yeah. Yeah.
I honestly believe that inspiration came from this tribe right here. These women fought. They were known as Amazons. They were ruthless. They were killers, and they protected their kingdom, which I'm trying to remember the name of it right now. It's in the area of, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I believe it's called Benin. It's Benin. But these women uh, were fierce. I read an article that was supposedly written by a French journalist, and this French journalist gone to Africa and witnessed some of their initiation tasks. One of the initiations were, can you take a bound prisoner and push them off of something from a fatal height? So are you that cold blooded that you can just take somebody who's bound, push them off, and let them die? Then another one of the examples said, the journalist said, I watched this 15, 16-year-old woman take a machete and in 3 swipes cut a man's head off, then wipe the blood off the machete and eat the blood.
Where do you find
So
this stuff? No,
I
these ain't
go,
nothing but Philly chicks. I recognize these chicks are in Philly and New York. These are Philly chicks. But no, that's pretty amazing. And a lot of times this kind of stuff happens out of necessity. I mean, you know, it comes down to survival for some of them. You know, if they don't have enough warriors in the tribe, hey, women, y'all got to pick up them sticks, pick up them spears, and put in some work. But I
now,
mean,
go
you
ahead.
know, oh no, I mean, you know, different tribes grow up different ways. Whatever, they're not first world, so you know they can't put women in a certain status. I would think this is necessary. Like some of them women, they don't look happy. Like, dang, I don't want to fight. I'd rather, you know what I'm saying, wear red bottoms and go to the club. But you know we short, so
I'm pretty certain that's not what any of them were thinking. But I will say this kingdom, and so it was the Dahomey kingdom actually encompassed like several provinces, because this particular dynasty was designed to take over land, and but these women followed a king. So I don't know if he was the first or just the baddest pimp to have ever existed, but
okay,
they fought for a king, and when they weren't at war, a lot of the women were his bodyguards.
okay, okay.
Yeah, but I say all that to say that women can definitely, if properly motivated,
Mhm.
protect themselves. I am a firm believer of that, and the reason I wanted to address or give light to the Umoja tribe is because I think it's a beautiful thing that these women who were going through these situations where they weren't being respected. I mean, in the Samburu tribes, it is legal for a man to kill his wife, and it's just like that's whatever because she's seen as property. So even they're up in their traditions, which are extremely ancient and primitive. You know, it's primitive mindset, but the men, they do not want to stray. So I
I
get it.
mean, yeah, some of these women look hard. Like I ain't cheating, baby. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. You ain't see me down at the club with Shumfufu.
See
Nah,
y'all at the
it's pretty dope, man. It's pretty dope. It's stuff you don't hear about. It's stuff you don't hear about. Um, yeah, they look hard. What is this picture from? Is this the 1800s, 1900s?
but I believe it's early. You know what? I'm not even gonna lie to you. It's
Uh,
either 1800s or it's early 1900s.
let's see.
I am not certain as to which one, but I mean these women fought European soldiers with guns,
Mm,
so yeah, it's not like it was 200-300 years ago
okay.
that these women existed. They used spears, and then when they discovered guns, They did what they needed to do to get the guns, and yeah.
Some of these chicks look bitter too. You over 40 bitter? Come on. We got a spear for you. Um
Hey, it's rough out in those streets.
it's rough out in these streets. These are some of the chicks that's going around Atlanta. Um
Yeah.
nah, but cool story, man. Cool. I advocate for women doing what they gotta do, protecting the tribe, protecting the home. Pretty dope.
Right on, right on. All right. Next topic. You ready?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. Kirk
Oh
Franklin
yeah.
and Carry On Franklin. Is that how you pronounce his name? Carry On?
It don't matter at this point.
Kirk told his ass to carry on.
Right. GP, are you with me?
If you don't carry on, okay. So if you do not know, Kirk Franklin has been under fire by the Christian community for the last week and a little bit over a week because his son Carry On recorded a conversation between the two of them, and we have the conversation here on the Advocators.
Man, play that joint.
If you think I'm bringing this paper, let me say it like this. When your bitch ass starts getting disrespected, you need to get your skinny motherfucking ass back out the goddamn way before I put my foot in your ass. Because I dare you. I dare you. I dare you. I dare you. Shut the fuck up. I'm old.
What's up? I will break your neck, nigga, if you ever disrespect me. I did it. He just hung up the phone. I'll break your neck. Is that a threat?
All right.
Woo.
You can't do
Dang, Kirk. Hey.
But hold on. Before we get deep into it, there's also the apology. And I guess this is why I wanted to discuss this one, because I want to know how you feel about the apology, the whole situation.
Many of you know I have an older son named Carry Franklin. In May, he'll be 33. For many years, we have had a toxic relationship with him as a family. We've tried for many years through counseling, through therapy, to try to rectify this private family matter. Recently, my son and I had an argument that he chose to record. I felt extremely disrespected in that conversation, and I lost my temper. And I said words that are not appropriate. And I am sincerely sorry to all of you. I sincerely apologize. I want you to know as a father that during that conversation, I called the family therapist and got that therapist on the phone to try to help. He never played that part of the recording. I'm not perfect. I'm human and I'm going to make mistakes and I'm trying to get it right. Please keep me and my family in your prayers. Many of you know I have an older son named Carry Franklin. In May.
All right. So there we have that. We have the slapping and the apology.
You want me to go first? I got a lot to say about this. Shout out to Kirk Franklin, man. Shout out to Kirk Franklin. There is a lot of pressure on Kirk to, I guess, act. He's a man of God. Kirk has never been a pastor or a preacher. He is a Christian who does gospel music. I don't even know if he's Christian anymore. He said religion's dead, all that one of his albums. But I'll say this, and I hope I don't upset anybody, but it was some of the meanest people I've ever met in my life in church. So for them to hold him high and, oh, he shouldn't cuss. Yeah, you shouldn't cuss. But there was some mean folks in church, and I heard cursing in church. I heard cursing outside of church by so-called church members. And, this is a grown-ass man. His son is a grown-ass man. He's not in his 20s. He's not a teenager. He is in his 30s. Hey, all bets are off. The gloves are off. You're going to get this cussing out if you disrespect me. And I mean, hey, I advocate for this. Shout out to Kirk. Carry On looks real weak from what I understand. he is still in his father's pockets. He's not being a grown man about the situation. And I mean, for real, who records an argument with their parent and puts it out on social media? What are you gaining by that? Matter of fact, you're actually putting the family wealth in jeopardy. You know, this is a cancel culture. So this could have went bad for Kirk. And then where does that leave you if you are 30 something and you're depending on your father for, you know, your daily bread? I don't know what the dynamic is around it. You know, Kurt said they've had the issue for years. I do believe that Carry On is from Kirk's first wife. You just don't know what the family dynamic is and what's going on. But this young man's hurt, and I don't see how this is going to get better.
This young man is hurt, but you know what? Suck it up. So you recorded your father cursing you out. You know what? If I disrespected my father, I would expect to get cursed out if he didn't swing on me, hit me with some tiger style, because he's an old school kung fu, you know. But anyway, even my mama, like my mother she's a Christian woman, but I know she has her limits when it comes to disrespect. No person in my family would ever talk to me like this because I wouldn't disrespect them like that, especially the old elders. Now, what Carry On needs to understand is two things. No one is above getting cussed out, and no one is above an ass whooping. No one. We've become this society where people think they are above an ass whooping so they can do and say whatever they want to do without repercussions. And that is a problem to me. That is why we are in the situation that we are in, which actually topic for later. But when it comes to this particular situation, I advocate Kirk Franklin talking to his grown son, the adult, the way that he spoke to him if he felt disrespected. As for the apology, I don't think he should have done it, but he did what he did. As for the cancel culture, I had to say, we've had this discussion, but Black Christians don't typically cancel anybody unless there is some level of what they consider to be unforgivable debauchery involved. So you start talking about things that the Christian community typically frowns on, like homosexuality. They will cancel people, but even then, because I went to New Birth when I was in college because I had a roommate who went to New Birth. Bishop Eddie Long was a great. He was very good at what he did. Mm-hmm. And as soon as pictures were exposed and little boys were like, hey, he's sending me pictures and he's talking to me like this. Half of the community attempted to cancel Bishop Eddie Long. But even still, he remained in that church for quite a while.
Till his death. Till his death. Yeah, till his death.
Here's the thing that gets me. Now, you're going to have to forgive me for a moment, but I have to speak to the Christian community because it appears to me that the Christian community has forgotten a story told long, long ago about a man named Abraham. When God spoke to Abraham, he said, Abraham, I want you to go up on that mountain and sacrifice your son. And Abraham was sad, but Abraham was committed to the Lord. He took his son and he walked his son up that mountain, and the whole time he was walking his son up that mountain, he had to listen to his son. But he was committed to the Lord, and he got to the top of that mountain, and he raised his hand up high, and he was about to come down with all of his might when one of the Lord's messengers came to Abraham and said, Abraham, don't do it. But Abraham was willing to sacrifice his son for the Lord. Yet the Christian community wants to judge Kirk Franklin because he offered his son a cowhide colonoscopy, a health check of the greatest, most masculine capacity. The Christian community needs to take a look in the mirror and realize that they should not judge unless they be judged. That's all I have to say about that.
Wow. Yeah, man. Golly, we're all human, man. Like I said, ain't no Christian on this earth not said a few choice words. Yeah, it's just a bad situation. I hate that it got exposed, but you know, this talks to another issue of, you know, famous men. And, you know, did he have the time? Because this, you know, his son's in his 30s. I'm sure that's the time Kirk was, you know, in these streets. That's the beginning of his career. And, you know, when you achieve the success that Kirk has achieved, you sacrifice a lot of things. And when this story came out, I wonder if, you know, Kirk was able to be around in this young man's life, being that, you know, that was during his road to success. So did he sacrifice his son to get where he is now? And this is the result that you get, you know, a bitter, grown ass man.
Perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, I have entertainer friends, and you know, they said you sacrifice a lot on the way. You know, you don't get to go to kids' soccer games, and you know, you miss out on your child's life, you know, all for, you know, whatever your goal is. So, you know, maybe Carry On is lashing out now, and he don't know what else to do. But sad situation. But I agree, Kirk, put a foot in this little boy's ass, because once you become grown, it's your responsibility to handle those demons.
Yes, it is. But you know what? I will say that, especially with Black people, but people in general don't know how to go about healing. They don't seek out the appropriate people for healing. So, and that may be his issue. You know, I am not a fan of the idea of going to a psychiatrist. I will admit that. But I think that without going to one, I am okay. I don't have situations like this right here. But maybe he needs a psychiatrist. Maybe he needs a good hug, but he needs something. And yeah, he definitely needs something.
Somebody to listen. I guess he said the world is gonna listen, because I'm about to put this tape out there. Almost like, you see Minister Society, oh faggot ass Chauncey was like, yeah, wait till 5-0 get a hold of this tape. They ain't gonna be laughing.
That is a classic.
And I said the F word. I'm just reciting a movie, so don't get mad, don't cancel us. That's what Chauncey said. Or that's how Old Dog referred to Chauncey.
Exactly.
But anyway.
Never seen the movie, you should see the movie. It's a classic. If you're Black and you haven't seen the movie, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Oh man, yeah, you get your Black card revoked if you ain't seen Minister Society, and at least you're a male. If you're a man and you ain't seen Minister Society, get that Black card here. It's over.
And if you're a millennial and you haven't seen Black Minister Society, then you have a scapegoat. You can blame your parents for that. Because time your parents should have shown you that and Boys in the Hood. And I'm gonna get you, sucker.
I'm gonna get you, sucker. Must see. How much for one rib? Anyway.
You don't get your ass.
Right.
That would be like Chris Tucker and
Chris Rock.
Oh yes, Chris Rock.
Before the money, when he still looked greasy. All right.
Yeah. So, ready for the next one?
Yeah, let's go.
Serious convo here. For those of you that do not know, haven't been paying attention to the news, a day or 2 days ago, there was a shooting in Metro Atlanta. A young man whose picture I am not going to put up. and I'm not going to say his name for a couple of reasons, but the young man started in Woodstock, Georgia, I believe it was,
Yep.
and went into an Asian spa or a spa where Asians were, and he shot and killed 4 people. Then he proceeded to hop in the car, drive south until he got into Atlanta, stopped at another spa, and shot 4 more people. No, he shot 5 because he killed 8, right? Injured
Yeah, he
one.
killed 8. Yeah. Somebody
Yeah.
survived. Yep.
Of the 8 people that he shot and killed, murdered in cold blood, uh, 6 of them were Asian women. And right now, the world is screaming bloody murder, hate crime. The police are investigating, but so far, the Cherokee County Police here in Georgia have gone so far as to say that one, this shooter was having a bad day. They've said everything except it's a hate crime.
Yep.
And the Asian community is up in arms. Other communities are up in arms. President Biden and Vice President Harris have flown down to Georgia to discuss hate towards Asian Americans with one of the some of the officials and law enforcement here in Georgia. So, my question is, was it a hate crime? Are we jumping to the conclusion of a hate crime too fast? Do you hate crime, Keno?
You know what? I do. I advocate a hate crime here. I don't, it's debatable what it is that he really hated. Did he hate women? Did he hate Asians? I think the fact that you pick up a gun and go kill 8 people, there is hate in your heart, no matter what the motive is and why you hate. I think hate should be thrown in here, period, because you did specifically target Asians, you did specifically target women, and you did specifically target a certain type of women. Now, I don't know if these women were prostitutes or these are places where he went and got his happy ending, but he was mad about something.
He was mad.
Yeah, and to me, there's a hate element there. You go to 2 different places and do the same thing. There's a hate element there. What it is, I'm not exactly sure.
There's an anger element there. You're right about that. Yeah. But anger doesn't necessarily mean hate. And this is why I say that. First of all, this man, apparently, according to the police, he's been to both of these locations. Like he has frequented both of these particular locations that he stopped and shot people. And you and I know, well, you might not know, but I know between Woodstock and Atlanta, there are plenty of spas at which you can stop if you just hit Google Maps. So these weren't, they weren't random spots. I think he was angry. I don't know if his heart was broken by an Asian woman. I don't know if, like you said, he was going in there because he had been watching too many videos and he wanted a little sucky, and he didn't get it, and he lashed out, or if he, if maybe they were laughing at him for one reason or another. Maybe they made fun of him. Maybe the women at both locations knew each other. I don't know, but there are too many maybes for me to automatically jump to is a hate crime, specifically because he'd been there before. Yeah. We've been around people. We've encountered people who have hate in their hearts, and they don't want anything to do with you except violence, curse you out, what have you. If he hated Asian people, he wouldn't have frequented those places. He wouldn't have been there before as a customer. If he hated women, I think he was angry. He didn't know how to control his emotions, and it caused him to react the way that he did. Remember earlier we were talking about Carry On. We said and I discuss people needing psychiatry,
Right.
right, because they don't know how to handle rejection, something that doesn't quite go their way. So they lash out in a ridiculous way. And I know firsthand, um, not as the aggressor, but as the person who was aggressed, when people don't know how to handle themselves when their emotions get to a certain point. And my thing is, if that is a hate crime because of the number of people that it was, then the brother in Indiana, whose name I don't recall at this moment, but he shot the 4 family members.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, there was a brother in Indiana. He shot 4 family members, not his family. He actually went to his baby mama's house because he knew she got that stimulus check and he wanted some money. This is according to the reports, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
He wanted some money. And she was like, "You're not getting any of this money because you haven't been doing anything for this baby. So you can just kick rocks." Not necessarily in that tone. I threw that in there. But he got angry. Her brother jumped up. "Hey, man, you're not getting any of the money." She said, "No." What does this dude do? He pulls out a gun and shoots 4 family members: the mother of the child, her brother, her mother, and another family member. And then he takes the baby. Now, is that hate or is that anger? Because it's only one half of the number that this Atlanta shooter shot. I mean,
Yeah,
but
but I mean, potato. I mean, apples and oranges. I don't think that's the same type of scenario. He wasn't in that situation where he was close to these people, or he may have been. He may have frequented for years, and he may have knew him personally. We don't know yet, but you know, too many times, specific groups are singled out for crimes. I don't know, has yet to come out, but usually when they dig into the background of these type of dudes, they're usually white supremacists, and along with white supremacist rhetoric comes hate for certain cultures and certain groups. So to me, looking at his mugshot, he definitely looks like one of them dudes who could have been a white supremacist and has a certain belief system. So when it comes out, and we need more information. We need to know how this dude operated, what kind of people he hung out with, and what his belief system was, and then I think you can make a determination that it's hate. We just don't have enough, but if I was to take a guess, I would say this is a hate crime.
here's the thing. Even in a situation where you find out, oh, his family were racist, they were white supremacists, they were this, they were that, they were the other, we still can't just assume that is his mindset. And here's why I say that. Because I have befriended people of all colors. And here in Georgia, you run into a lot of rednecks. But if you have an open mind, you get to learn that not all rednecks are bad. I was around some buddies, and they were passing a blunt around. Now, I didn't partake because I don't do drugs, but 3 of them were black, 1 of them was white, and the blunt is going around. And when the white man gets the blunt, he backs off of it and he says, "Who's been nigger lipping the blunt?" Didn't think twice about it. We all just stood there because we've known this man for a while. Like, dude, what did you just say? Because that was racist as fuck. He's like, "What? Nigger lipping the blunt?" So, but he wasn't racist. There were certain things that were in his subconscious that he didn't realize, but he didn't hate us. He didn't have any animosity towards the black people that he worked with. And he worked with a lot, not just the 4 that he was standing around when he decided to say, "Who's been nigger lipping the blunt?" And he was cool with them all. He was, as far as I know, he was cool with everybody he met. One of the nicest guys you could ever meet. But it just
Um,
so even with the associations, I mean, you can't judge a book by its cover. You can't say, oh, he's racist because he looks like a racist. Yeah, he's here in Georgia. He came from Woodstock.
okay. So why do white men get the benefit of the doubt, and when black people do anything, it's automatically assumed that oh, it's a hate crime. They all feel like this, because now the narrative is that black people are out here committing crimes against Asians, which is totally untrue. And
And we're
some of the footage they're showing is from, a black person beating up old Asian women somewhere. We don't know where the footage is from. We don't know what that black person was on. They could have been a crackhead, anything going on, but we got to carry the weight of that. So we ain't got nothing to do with some crackhead in Oakland, California to beat up an Asian, but we got to wear that. So
yeah.
why do he get the benefit of the doubt? Just like you gave, that seems to be a common thing that happens.
What I'm saying is, there's more than meets the eye in this particular story. There are plenty of times where I've seen a story and I'm like, oh yeah, that's race based right there. But
Yeah.
for me, the math just doesn't add up for us to quickly jump to this is a racism thing. There's something else under there. Like I said, either some girl he was messing with broke his heart, or they were laughing at something happened, and he said, you know what, F this. And did he target Asian women? Obviously. But my thought is
And that's not hate.
it was anger. Just like people do it all the time. Remember that guy? It wasn't Georgia Tech. It was a technical institute. It might have been Virginia Tech, but there was a man who ran around Virginia Tech just stabbing people.
Yeah.
Ran.
He was crazy. I remember that. I mean,
No,
you bringing up these scenarios, and I don't think they have the same weight. I don't think they can be compared. Um, like I said, I I kind of agree on the fact we just don't have enough information to determine one way or the other. But I mean, it kind of looks typical of past hate crimes. White man goes and targets a specific group. Um, why didn't he walk into some white spas? There's white spas. Why didn't he walk into Spa Sedell or whatever the popular spas are now? He specifically chose these out, which were he drove cross town to go from one Asian spa to the next. I mean,
but
you have to look at these things.
yes, but
Hmm?
he had been to these spots.
Okay,
So
he could have been to 6 or 7 spots. We don't really know, but I mean, this was
he was on his way to Florida, according to police. So maybe he's been to some spots in Florida. My whole point is that it doesn't all add up. And I think it's a bit premature for us to start saying it's a hate crime. Now, to answer your question earlier about why does this white man get the benefit of the doubt and black people don't? Because we are not the ones who are in the position to give any black person the benefit of the doubt unless we are on a jury, in which
yeah.
case we can give them the benefit of the doubt and it can have some weight. But we 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 already know how the society is. George Floyd's murderer is in court right now, but had the situations been reversed, George Floyd would have been under the jail, and I don't believe Minnesota
Yeah.
has a penalty, but he would have been under jail long time ago, signed, sealed, delivered, what have you. If the roles had been reversed, if the officer who did the killing were in fact the victim, so we already know how this society rolls
And
with regard to black people. But I'm just saying, you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, right? But when it comes to us, we are guilty until proven innocent, period, point blank, in most cases.
yeah,
This,
and this let's just be honest. This guy is not going to get a hate crime charge, regardless of what information is coming out. I looked on a major media outlet the other day. I think it was NBC, and they had a photo of his senior picture of him in a tuxedo. I said to myself, this guy is not getting a hate crime charge, even if it comes out that he has views against Asians, blacks, or whatever. He's not going to get a hate crime. The media is already trying to set him up like, oh, he's just a victim, and what they usually do. If it's anybody else, our mug shot is up there. We're gonna get humiliated, but they put his senior picture up, so we already know how this is gonna go.
I'm with you with regard to if it is found to be a hate crime, then yes, throw the book at this dude. Throw him in. I mean, regardless, he
Yeah.
murdered.
Yeah. Regardless whether it's a hate crime or not, I mean, it don't matter at this point. He should get the death penalty or whatever
Right.
they're handing out. Yeah, and actually, this is kind of dangerous for us. Stop Asian hate crimes. There is a push nationally where it looked like it might be some legislation on the books. Against anti-hate against Asians. Where was that stuff for the black people? There's certain things about this that I don't like. Of course, I don't want to see anybody get murdered, but I'm also nervous about what this is going to mean for black people as a community. Because there are even with this murderer out here and what he did, is showing the senior picture, but I keep seeing rhetoric pointing back to black people that this is our fault, that America hates Asians because of black ideology and stuff like that. So I don't know. I'm gonna keep my eye on this one. This is gonna end up bad for us.
Nobody hates anybody because of black people, except people who hate black people because they're black people.
Right.
If you know what I'm saying. But anyway, so transitioning into the next topic, because they kind of go hand in hand.
Yep.
We have this Black, Brown, Asian solidarity sign. Join, support, and donate coalition of minority Americans come together to dismantle.
Yeah.
So,
This is a con game. This is the biggest con game they always put out. When other groups get some of this good old white supremacy boot on their neck, they always look to us. Come help us, come save us. But when we out here effed up and getting murdered and killed and whatnot, where are these groups? Now you might see a few individuals out here, but as a group, the Asian community does not come out in big numbers for the black community. So I think we should sit this one out. Yeah, it's tragic, it's terrible what's happened, but there's not good relationship there. They set up in our communities, they rob our communities dry of our resources. They got the hair care industry on lock, the black hair care industry on lock. I know other people try to get in and we can't get in. So I don't know about this. I think this is a farce. Ain't no coalition between the black and brown.
well, Alvina Wong, whomever she is, says a big part of how to be allies in this moment is advocating with us. So, yes, we have ignored the issues you have been faced with, despite the fact that we have liquor stores in your community, like all over your community, despite the fact that we have, what was the other thing you said?
Beauty supply. Now, yeah, they have those on lock and will not let black people in. And on the flip side, show me all the Asians who are supporting black businesses, because when I go to black businesses, I don't see any Asians around. It is a one-sided deal. We are their economic base in America, no doubt. And
don't like a barbecue.
Yeah. Nah, we are their economic base in America. A lot of their industry is fed off of us. So where's the reciprocation now when y'all in trouble and the good old white supremacists is on y'all necks? You looking for us, but where are y'all in the community? And like I said, I know people in the business of hair care. Some of the stuff they've told me and how they get locked out, and man, it's absolutely criminal. So I don't know. I feel some kind of way about this. There ain't no coalition because they ain't there for us. They're not helping us build up our communities. They come set up in our communities. They drain the resources dry. They don't help improve the community. They don't do nothing but get the money. So I don't think there's no coalition. So me personally, I think Black People's Group, we should sit this one out and let them handle it.
Okay, well, that's real how you feel, Keno. Trash.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I don't disagree with you. I,
Yeah.
I mean, I think the thing is black people, we have been the road pavers, if you will, for every other minority group.
Yep.
So we fight for ourselves because we've been getting the worst of it, but we also have fought for everyone else.
Yep.
Meanwhile, everyone else is like, hey, we'll take the benefits that we gain as a result of you all marching and singing and whatever else it is you do that, you know, gets you this thing and that thing. But, you know, that's as far as it goes.
Yeah. So, even going back to the case of Peter Liang, the cop in New York who shot Akai Gurley. Akai Gurley was just coming out of his house and got shot. You should have seen the Asian community come out in droves to support Peter Liang getting acquitted for murdering that young unarmed brother. That right there literally showed me that there is no coalition. I mean, Peter Liang was a policeman. He shot a black man, unarmed. Black man was no danger, no threat, and he got off. And it was because of the Asian solidarity within their community. I saw the marches, the protests. Let Peter Liang go for shooting this black person. Come on now, it's a black person. So Akai Gurley, even way back in the day in L.A. when Natasha Harlins was um, killed in that Asian store for they tried to say she was stealing some orange juice. Um, I don't really remember the details around it, but we have, I mean, we as many videos of sisters getting their ass whipped in nail shops and stuff. So the relationship between the Asian and black community has been a very volatile one, and it's usually one sided. On the volatility is coming from them. So if you don't like us, if you can't stand being around us, stop setting up in our communities and draining them dry. But that's a whole nother topic. Now, I'm not saying all Asians. There's some good people of Asian descent out there. I know Asian people. They have been absolutely wonderful to me. But I'm just talking about as a group and the groups who have the political influence and the power. I don't think they have been there historically for black people over the past 50 years. So um, this kind of strikes a chord with me. But anyway, I digress.
I feel you, brother. I feel you. I am in total agreement with you. I do not advocate for well, I'm not going to say I don't advocate for the coalition of minority Americans. My thing is, if you want us to step up, you need to step up. And I mean, when I look out in when I look at the news after a young black man has been shot, or any black man has been shot by the police, and they or beaten by the police, or a black woman has been shot or beaten by the police. When I see protests, I see primarily two races, black and white. You know why black is out there,
Yeah,
and for a lot of white, it's guilt. Some of them are genuinely concerned.
yeah,
Others are trying to make up for the guilt they feel as a result of their ancestors' doings.
yep,
Did I tell you I recently found out my home used to be part of a plantation?
yep, yep.
That blows my mind. That blows my mind. As a person from the North, I never thought that I'd be living on what was once a plantation.
Yep, and you got the ghost of slave past around you. Ooh, no, anyway, but yeah, I'm sure a lot of Atlanta, has a history. But like I said, I don't know. I have to see more from the Asian community as a group um, to help with Black interests going forward. So right now, I don't advocate for this. I don't advocate for a coalition or joining forces. And Black people are under pressure. I've seen news articles and I've seen things on the news about this is what Black people need to do to blah blah blah. But nobody has said this is what white people need to do to to help the Asian community. It's always us. The eyes are always on us for some reason.
Well, I advocate for a coalition, but it can't be one of those, well, we stand up for you, but when it's time to stand up for us, it has to be across the board. Personally, I believe that people who are of all shades of brown, especially in this country, should be along one accord if they are not on one accord. Uh, yeah.
Amen, brother. Kirk Franklin would appreciate that.
Really would appreciate that, and not my whole sermon about Abraham and Isaac.
I don't know about that. I don't know. We had to talk to Kurt. Let me get Kurt on the phone. It was some bullshit, Joseph. No.
Well, hey man, our hour is up. It's even
Yep.
though I wasted 6 minutes being muted. Is there anything that you wanted to talk about before we get out of here?
No, man. I just want everybody to have a great weekend, man. Great time to be alive. We in 2021. Shout out to all the people who were affected by COVID and continue to be affected by COVID. This country's great. The world is great. There's great people, and I think we'll get past this. The world's starting to open back up too. I heard some of the social distancing rules have been cut in half, so we're gone from 6 feet to 3 feet, so you can get a little bit closer.
Hey, California has relaxed laws. You know, if California is relaxing laws, then
Yeah, it's serious. And Texas said, forget it. We ain't got no mandates. Come here, party, eat, drink, do what you do.
we got guns. We ain't scared of COVID.
Right. I had my California family call me and was like, do y'all have COVID in Georgia? I was like, you know what? I don't even know. We may, but I'm on my way to the club. I'll hit you back.
All right,
but anyway,
appreciate your time. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Shout out to all the people who join us, watch. We trying to put this together. We kind of off kilter times and technical problems, but we'll work out and we'll push forward and we'll do more to advertise and get the show out there so more people can join us.
True that. Thank you for watching The Advocators. I'm JoJo.
And I'm Keno Trice. Peace.
Presented by Show Out.